Part 2. Crimson Flower. Pegasus Moon. Tempest of Swords and Shields. With Deirdre under Imperial control, the Leicester Alliance ceases to exist, and its remaining lords ally themselves with the Empire. The Black Eagle Strike Force, having now conquered all of Eastern Fodlan, confidently moves to invade the kingdom.
And that concludes Count Burghley's report. Just as your majesty predicted, the old Alliance has willingly fallen under Imperial rule. However, even with Claude dead, there is no telling what manner of poison he left in his wake. We must be careful not to expose any weakness.
Of course, though it seems we can now attack the kingdom without issue.
True. However, you should know that Lord Arundel has entered Deirdre. It would seem he has already started collecting the relics of the old Alliance.
Let him do as he pleases for now. It's not yet the time to chide him.
Understood. As for the kingdom, as we theorized, it is not entirely united. If we defeat the royal family of House Blaiddyd, and a handful of other notable houses, it should fall under our control quite readily. Those we must target include the houses Fraldarius, Galatea, Gautier, and Karen.
What about House Rowe in Arian Road, the fortress city? Will they not side with us?
The head of House Fraldarius, Lord Rodrigue, has entered the city. It is possible that he has seized it.
I see. Then it might prove too difficult to strike Ferdiad right away.
Either way, when preparations are complete, we can begin our deployment into the kingdom.
That part of the plan remains unchanged. Professor, is something wrong? Yes, I don't imagine that you have much interest in a running list of noble names. But it matters not. The nobility and the weight of all those names will be gone once the war is over. This month, we must again put all of our effort into preparing for battle. I'm counting on you, my teacher. Ah! Professor, you didn't hear anything just now, did you? Cute! Huh. Well, be that as it may, it is not your concern. It was nothing. You seem to be trying your hardest to infuriate me. Don't you dare say that again. It's just... well, there was a rat. I don't enjoy the company of rats. I believe I've told you about this before. About when I was held captive beneath the palace. There were a lot of rats there. To this day, I just... What? Oh, Professor, leave here at once. I recall now that Hubert needs to speak with me. I must change my clothes. Now, whatever you do, don't look this way. Then forget what you saw. That's an order.
Let me see.
Professor Claude von Regan. What an interesting character. Underneath that compassionate exterior, he was always cold and calculating. Ordinary fools run headlong into combat without even considering the possibility of defeat. But to consider one's chances and to prepare for plans to go awry, that takes real intelligence. I have to say, I am impressed beyond words. I have a request for you. Well done, Professor. Thank you.
I am grateful. I have Claude to thank. Before the battle, he considered my precarious position and told me it wouldn't matter if we fell to the Empire. So when you invited me, I accepted without hesitation. Ultimately, this ended without the Alliance being entirely consumed by this war. It's all thanks to Claude.
Pardon me.
Hey.
Did you meet my father in Deirdre? I guess he'll be responsible for controlling the Regan territory and maintaining popular support. Not really sure what all that means, though. You're probably right. I'll do my best.
The majority is with us. This conflict will end soon. I am so moved by the Alliance Noble's decision. That is true nobility, acting in accordance with the people's needs and wishes. As war drags on, those living near the front lines inevitably get the worst of it. We will not see such a peaceful resolution in Fargus, I am afraid, as it is ruled by the royal family, not a council of nobles.
Professor?
Professor!
A moment.
Yes, neither the Emperor nor the Empire have my allegiance. It is all simply part of the agreement. There is no other reason for me to be here.
Professor?
Definitely.
Hey there. Finally, the kingdom. After that, we'll battle the church. I volunteered for monastery guard duty. It was more for my family than anything. But now, from the bottom of my heart, I want to see Her Majesty ruling this land. Even if it costs me my life, I will protect Garreg Mach.
Professor!
Let me see.
Definitely.
A moment, please.
Yes, it is all... That is mine. Appreciated.
Definitely.
Let me see.
Can you help me?
War isn't kind to you if you're a recluse. By the time you realize what's going on, you're already under attack. And if you're off by yourself, you can get killed with no one ever even finding out. Got me out of my room at least. That's good, right?
Hi.
Your next opponents will be the Kingdom's army and the Knights of Seros. Both fearsome foes. Put the mobility of my troops to good use, and let us protect the Kingdom's western battlefront. When this month has ended, I'll depart. I pray that you have good luck in battle.
Oh no. Ah.
The Alliance is just gone. It's hard to believe. The merchants of Deirdre all have nerves of steel. I'm sure they'll be up and running again in no time. Hey, how about a favor?
May I sit?
Upset. The kingdom always is cold. I have hatred for the cold. Bridget is not cold. We have no cold spirit. Does the goddess of Fodlan give protection from the cold? I am wishing I knew how to ask her.
Okay. Yes. I just wanted to help out my brother Randolph, so I aspired to be a soldier. My brother puts his life on the line to fight, so I'll put everything I have into it too. Eventually, the enemy will attack, and when they do, we'll defend this place to the bitter end.
I think I've lived at Garrigmock Monastery for a few decades now. Still, the other day I got myself all turned around. There are so many secret rooms and hidden passages. Maybe I'll take the time to properly search the place. Care to join me? I expect it'd take a whole day.
Right. Ah.
Appreciate it. Welcome. Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Is that the one? Thanks a. Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Come back soon.
No.
Professor, I've been exploring the Holy Mausoleum. It's quite interesting in there. There is a mechanism I believe would allow us passage into the Holy Tomb, but I'm unclear on how to activate it. My research hasn't turned up much. It may come down to asking the Archbishop for details. Indeed. We'll see if it's worth the trouble.
The Leicester Alliance is no more. 300 years of history. Gone and done. They write operas about events like this, you know? I'm sure they'll have a talented and beautiful songstress playing you. Probably for 80 as well. I wonder if there'll be romantic tension between your two characters, even if it's not historically accurate. Really? If the Alliance falls, then the Kingdom will... There's no time to waste. If we hesitate, we risk losing the initiative. I do think we should let the troops rest, though. We must maintain morale, Professor. And let's make sure this matter stays between us. If it gets out, I'll struggle to forgive even you. Thank you.
Nice job.
What?
Let me see.
Definitely.
Yes, neither. It is all. That is mine. Appreciated.
Definitely.
Let me see. Maybe.
Oh, I love this meal. How did you know?
This is my favorite. I am rather happy you went out of your way to pick it, Professor.
Ooh, this is my favorite. You've got great taste.
This food brings fond memories.
Ooh, exquisite. This is exactly the meal I've been craving.
I've eaten many meals in my time, but this is divine.
Can we put our quarrel on hold, Ferdinand? At least while the professor is present.
Of course we can, Hubert. We will finish eating and then continue fighting elsewhere.
I would be liking that greatly.
Eating delicious food really takes my worries away.
Ah, I can eat so much of this stuff. My stomach's growling just thinking about it.
I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
I'm impressed by how quickly toppling Deirdre brought the Alliance into the fold. Ideally, we'd crush the kingdom with ease. But something tells me it'll be complicated. You'd better sharpen your focus to a fine point, though I'm sure you already know that.
Come on, you're fighting people we used to know from the Officers' Academy. Guess that's the kind of thing that happens in war, but still, it's pretty twisted. It makes me feel so... Ugh. Maybe I'll just try not to think about it.
Yes. The swiftness of the Alliance's withdrawal on seeing that they had no hope of victory was unsurprising. Given their complete lack of solidarity, there could really have been no other outcome. No, but a noble's duty is to protect the common folk of their territory. I judge the Alliance by that metric. What's important is that one of the forces arrayed against us has fallen. Our victory draws nearer.
Hey! The Alliance may be finished, but House Albrecht managed to come out unscathed. It's all thanks to my little bro. He's a great guy. I'm sure he'll do well under the Empire. No kidding. I may have cut ties with them, but I was still curious to know how they were managing. The world may have changed, but I haven't. I have no interest in playing the noble game. I'd rather just keep doing my thing.
Linhardt, I finally found you.
These structures were built more than 1,000 years ago and still remain. Amazing. Most interesting, there's a pattern to the saints' emblems carved into each of the sarcophagi. Here, you'll see if you come take a look.
Perhaps another time. Right now, I have something to discuss with you. You've said before that you don't care about the usefulness of your research. After giving it some thought, I decided that I'd like to create an institution for crest and relic research, and I'd like for you to lead it. All you would need to do is carry out whatever research you like. Somebody else will decide how to make use of your findings. What do you think? I imagine such an environment would suit you quite well.
Let's be clear that I have my reservations, but I suppose I'll take you up on your offer, if you insist. Although I'm unsure if it's a good idea. If my research dries up, you'll be stuck with a worthless institute. I do hope you understand that, Your Majesty.
Why are you skeptical about my proposal?
It's because all I've ever cared about is following my own curiosity, wherever it takes me. Being head of some institution and researching as part of an organized team sounds like no fun at all. At that point, it's not research, it's just a job, and one I've been practically forced into at that. However, since I know you've put a lot of effort into preparing this opportunity for me, and since I like you well enough, I will, begrudgingly, take you up on the offer.
Well then, I suppose I should be grateful. But I'll be honest, I see little point in bringing you on board if you're so troubled by the idea. Let's put this idea on hold for the moment. I'll figure something out for you by war's end. I have great respect for your talent, Linhardt. I'm certain I can find a way to make use of it that's to your liking.
Yuritsa?
What?
I've got it all figured out.
Hmm?
Your true identity. If my detective skills are correct, then you are the Death Knight, right?
everyone already knows that.
What? Everyone knows? But how? Oh, and here I thought that I'd uncover your big spooky secret. Oh, Bernie, you're such a shut-in that you missed the biggest news in town. So, here's the deal, Yuritsa. You've got to tell me a secret about you that nobody else knows.
Why?
Because! I sleuthed for hours upon hours! It's gotta be rewarded!
Just stop.
Oh, come on! Please? Oh, I know! I've got it! Why do you wear that crazy-looking armor when you're pretending to be the Death Knight? Are you just into the look of it? You like spooky stuff?
Well, I may have been drawn to that aspect. To look sinister. To embody death.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe you put on that mask and armor because, just like old Bernie, you don't like talking to people.
There may be some truth to that. Talking to people is intolerable.
Oh, yeah? I think I'm sensing a real kinship between us. So, with that whole spooky getup on, it allowed you to speak to people with confidence.
No.
Oh, hey, Yuritsa. Don't tell anyone about this, okay? This is our little secret.
I don't mind, but I also don't understand.
Hey, shady lady. I see you're working into the wee hours.
I have asked you before not to refer to me that way.
Right, whatever, sorry. Anyway, what kind of bizarre spells are you weaving?
An excellent question. It's a brand of spellcraft many have dreamed of, but none have achieved. A revolution in magical theory.
Revolutionary spellwork, huh?
Steel yourself for this. The working transforms leather boots into licorice! The old serviceable shape with a new, sweeter taste.
Huh. That's certainly something. I'm sure you'll ravage the economy with this one. So, why boots precisely?
I was inspired by your suggestion that licking the nobility's boots would fulfill my dream. I went to my chambers to discreetly taste my own boots. They were less appetizing than I had hoped. The thought of licking boots day in and day out was revolting, but then I thought, what if? Tonguing licorice boots rather than leather ones would make the whole ordeal much more palatable. This is no run-of-the-mill penny ante black magic. This is something new. Black licorice magic. I could lick the boots of 100 nobles if they all tasted so scrumptious as licorice.
Are you some kind of damn fool?
The common mind often has difficulty distinguishing between genius and idiocy. You set me the challenge of licking boots, and I would say that I have risen to it ably.
Correct. I told you to do that. But I think you took what I said just a bit too literally.
Then how did you mean it? Does the licking not count if the liquor enjoys it?
It's mostly something you do by way of acting subservient. I'd even lick the mud from your boots, my lord. Get it?
What? Are there nobles so depraved that they would take satisfaction in such a thing?
There sure are. I've licked a boot or three in my day.
Indeed? Oh, did it not turn your stomach?
Well, of course it did. There's hardly any dignity in boot licking. Talking to you is truly entertaining. You're a special kind of strange. I've known many a noble in my life, but none like you. I was just dealing with a bunch of them, so the difference seems especially stark. Though, I guess you're not technically a noble at this point, are you?
You were dealing with nobles in the dead of night? Wait, what? Did you just call me strange?
Whew, I'm exhausted. Better go hit the sack. Don't work too hard, milady.
I did not give you leave to go! Ugh, his rudeness knows no bounds. But I'll have my revenge. Perhaps by exposing his business with these nobles. He'll rue the day he loosened his tongue in front of me.
Lord Yuritsa? I believe he used to be a professor at the Officers' Academy. It was also my understanding that he was personally recommended by Lord Arundel himself, landing him a position as a sword instructor.
Whatever the case is, behind that mask of death, there's an emptiness, a void. This is probably just a rumor, but I heard he was found and taken in by Her Majesty herself. Supposedly, he's the heir of the Hrim family. But I also heard he's only a distant relative who was adopted. He sure is mysterious.
You've been asking around about me. It matters not to me, one way or the other. Do you want to know of my past? Why? Friend or foe, that's what you're trying to determine. But you won't find answers merely with words. There is only one path forward. Raise your sword if you have the nerve. Raise it and fight me. If you want to know my heart, know my sword. It's only to spar. Nobody will be slain. I cannot kill you yet. The Death Knight knows that very well. I've been told to refrain from killing you until the war has ended. I came to an understanding with the Emperor herself and agreed to do her bidding. The young Emperor discovered me long ago, though back then she was still a princess. Ultimately, it was she who erased my past. She placed me into a family that was disintegrating, that I might be their heir. Indeed, my past. My crimes for killing a useless man and his kin. To survive, the Death Knight must spill blood. Left to his own devices, he would kill innocent passers-by. Through the Emperor's grace, he was allowed hunting grounds. That is why, to this day, I follow her. I am not yet ready to yield such fertile hunting grounds. Nor am I ready to truly fight you. Of course, were I not here to hold him back, he would cut you down without hesitation. As for me, I too... never mind. If you've no intention of fighting, then be gone. Perhaps it is he who is to blame, but I feel oddly when I look at you.
Okay.
Hey!
Hey, friend. Thanks for joining me when I had to deal with that mess a while ago. You were a real help. I wouldn't say you fully earned my trust, but you've earned something for sure. I owe you. I can't not worry about it. I don't like owing people. Guess I'll just have to surprise you someday. I was just rummaging through what we recovered from the Scorpions, and I stumbled across something pretty special to me. It was under lock and key, so those thugs probably thought it was something of high value. The Elder gave it to me when I was small. Losing it really got me where it hurts. I guess it couldn't hurt to tell you about it. Can't quite remember how old I was, but my mother had taken in an elderly man wandering the town. He was worse for wear, could barely even walk. She nursed him back to health under our humble roof. In return for her kindly gesture, he taught me to read and write. This notebook is a relic of those times. Not too long after that, I came down with a terrible illness. We had no money to speak of, so a doctor's visit was out of the question. My mother went everywhere asking for help, to no avail. And then the Elder stepped in and saved me. I don't know how he did it, or what it was he did. Long since passed on. Natural causes. I believe it happened shortly after he cured me. My illness, it turns out, was part of a larger plague that swept through our village. So many died. And there I was, having escaped death by some strange luck. I felt grateful. And helpless. So little Yuri figured it would be his mission to help anyone he could as he grew up. However I could. Not necessarily by making gold rain from the sky, but in smaller ways. The streets are filled with kids who have no homes, no food, so many dying of disease, or some cheap medicine would have saved them. I figure, if I can save even one unlucky soul, well, then I'm doing my part, you know? It's a small dream, but it's one I hold in my heart. To help those who need it. It's what my gang's about. When I recruit my people, it's to that end. To give them a home. The turf wars, the gang, all of it. To honor that dream. Yeah? Well, thanks. Despite what you now know about me, I'm still the Lord of the Underground. Don't go forgetting that. I do what I have to, whether people view it as fair or foul. The way I see things, the goddess gave me two gifts, my life and my charm. That's been gift enough to get in with slimy nobles, so I can pull their strings as I see fit. Of course. It wasn't always easy, but in the end, it's all the same little game. Once I used a clever name, and my charms, to become the attendant to the head slug of a noble house. Yet another time, I took a name befitting the kingdom that landed me in the academy as a noble's adopted son. That's how I've gotten this far and earned my fortune. In doing so, I've spread my wings of protection further, to help those who need it most. As though I tell you, friend. But perhaps you can share what it is you think, hmm?